any music, so it's kind of it. But oh, victory background music. Oh, jeez. Whatever. Bangs. What's this one? Background starring Kale. Okay. I don't know if they're already starting draft. Might be completely hinting at this
They have not.
this time. Oh, sick. I think I have everything set up. I just need to announce it. Okay.
Ooh, this music is banger.
This is one of my favorite, and potentially the best Champs League music.
It's getting me hyped.
Nah, LCK Champs League music just hits different.
You know, this reminds me of like a real good nostalgic Smash Bros. Arena.
Oh. See, all this does is just remind me of LCK. Watching that or listening to it as I was trying to fall asleep in college. But we're live with Helium Division week number 2. No, week 3. We missed a week because they played a game at like 9 p.m. It's Return of the Middlestick Surprise Party at 1-1, facing off against Classic Esports coming in at 1-1. I'm Maris, my co-caster's Atlas. We have a full week of nonsense on this stream, so let's get to it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great because it's been a good morning. I hope everyone's having a great morning. It's really good to see a great week coming up, or right now that we are in for the week of RotM, in my opinion.
Yeah, Surprise Party plays back-to-back tonight and tomorrow night, and then Darkwind's going to kick off their Victorious season on Thursday, and then Friday, you and your boys are going to be trying to win a best-of-5 playoff series, which
I'm very excited.
we'll be yelling about here on the stream, so should be very fun. But yeah, let's look at the game ahead of us here as RotM takes on Classic Esports. We got Akali, Sivir, Renata, Glask, Graves, Vigar, and Wukong not going to be played.
Pretty solid bans all around from both sides. Obviously Wukong is one of Scram's probably his best champions in my opinion. Definitely don't want to see him on a carry champion, and it's really nice to see that RotM is respecting stuff that is just OP in the bot lane, taking away both Sivir and Renata. I hope we get some good sensible bans. I know the last time we streamed there was some solid bans from RotM side, and then it was some like the enemy team was just doing some like pretty troll stuff. But so far pretty good solid bans. I like these bans a lot. And then Seraphine getting instant pick.
Ooh, and the counter for Classic immediately done soft op. Going for the Blitzcrank, gonna just grab the pop star. No more pop stars over there. They're coming over here.
This is a real big like way to play your cards if you're classic esports because obviously you reveal your support, but for RotM like you can try flex this Seraphine anything. Like you can throw it. Obviously you can throw it in a bot lane with support or ADC, but you can also throw it in mid lane. Um, Twitch gets picked up though. Um, there's a lot of options RotM can do here with their bot lane. They have a really good flex pick with Seraphine. I wonder if they're going to reveal their bot lane here or if they're going to continue to stall out some of their picks. It would be a lot of sense if they keep these two picks as their bot lane and they just hold out on their solo lanes after.
Yeah, Jinx looks like it's gonna be the pick. So very standard scaling lane versus a very standard kill lane. Going head to head here, more than likely. And now almost certainly likely because the Sylas is locked in probably for Wade.
Yeah, that's most definitely. Actually, Silas Tomlin is actually not that bad. I've been a believer ever since Grams put me onto the secret sauce. It's actually very, very fun to play top lane.
Yeah, I just
It makes sense.
Given the
Yeah,
players, I think that's where we're headed. But
yeah,
we got surprised by the Toe Knuckles Yone last week, so maybe we're headed there. The Poppy gonna be locked in. Poppy right now, top tier jungler, not really seen anywhere else.
Yes, really, really, really powerful right now in the jungle. RotM does get an edge though because they picked the superstar in Jinx. You know, the main character from the hit series Arcane. Yeah.
Yeah, always have to get that Arcane buff.
But still, all around, like it's a really nice draft from RotM. I mean, yes, the Sylas is most preferably going to the mid lane, but like it's still a flex. Like we might see a surprise that we said last week. Yon was being picked up and they got shifted to the top lane. You know, this is RotM's surprise party we're talking about, so I hope this is another surprise. I would love to see Toe be an absolute Chad and just carry everything.
Yeah, so Kindred, Soigné, both gone. I'm kind of interested in the Swain takeaway because realistically you have your mid and your support represented. Oh, never mind. I am backwards for some reason. They're just banning away Scram's junglers, which is kind of interesting. They're going to take away his Mastery Yi. Yeah, I don't know that they're knocking Scrams particularly far down the tier list, but they definitely are cutting into his champion pool.
Yeah, I would say they're doing a pretty big dent so far. I mean, I don't really see a Master Yi in Scram's champion pool that much, or maybe I just haven't seen it enough.
It's his highest mastery champion, so I pretend like it's in his champion pool. I think I've seen him play it once, but like,
yeah, I've never
realistically should be comfortable. He's got like 600,000 mastery on it or something like that.
All around, I think it's gonna be really hard to ban him out because he always has a pocket pick. Something like we've seen last series where we streamed together, where he picked out the Tarek, and then the Wukong obviously was picked up. I can't remember the third game after that, but I think it's gonna be really difficult for Classic Esports to want to ban out their surprise parties jungler and Scrams. It's not really the ideal thing to do when he has so many pocket picks.
Yeah, I think the Tarek's definitely on the table here potentially, but we've got Vex for a little bit more dive for CE.
What I'm very interested to see is grabbing the Sylas away after Poppy gets picked up, or either or side. He already has some great ultimates. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense with Twitch and Blitzcrank, but just Poppy being on the enemy team is really, it's a really good spot for the junglers to be in, knowing that you can have their enemy jungler knocked away across the map. And Tarek is picked up, so this is 100% going to be his Seraphine mid lane. Actually, no, I'm wrong. You can still support it to flex. To support, I'm completely bamboozled by the flex picks right now. Oh, it's Aatrox.
All right. So I think that there's some nuance between Aatrox and Sylas swapping roles, but it's definitely Jinx Seraphine bottom with your Tarek jungle. right?
Yeah.
Tarek is the only one of these that we've seen Scram's jungle at least.
Hmm.
Not that that means that he can't jungle. You know, I think Silas can jungle or has at some point. Aatrox can probably jungle, but I think that none of those are particularly ideal. And it's going to be Gragas locked in for CE. That's a lot of disengage now. You have the Blitzcrank and the Vex to engage hard, and then you have the Gragas and the Poppy to disengage really hard. It's really interesting.
Yeah, classic esports does definitely have a better engage and disengage comp, but I overall like the scaling of RotM's comp just because of the fact that a lot of their stuff does revolve around Silas getting ahead early and Aatrox getting ahead mid game. Obviously, we'll see Jinx scale up to her point where she just becomes, the fantastic star she's always been in Arcane. You know what I mean? But it's really nice to see that both sides have a really strong comp. Both have the same idea: get their ADC fed as early as possible, get their spikes as quick as possible, making sure mid lane doesn't get out of control, and top lane is just going to be I don't want to say a slap box, but definitely a boxing match.
I mostly think it's interesting just the amount of tools that CE has to deal with the Taric. Like specifically, we've seen Taric be a problem that a lot of teams have trouble solving with the Cosmic Radiance coming down and then trying to figure out how to navigate that particular moment in the team fight. But you have the Poppy just to send them away. Like, oh, you ulted? Cool. Be invulnerable over there. Oh, that isn't right. All right.
It happens.
They started it, but then immediately banned their first pick, so it didn't work out very well. Hopefully we'll get back into the lobby here soon.
Going back into the comps, though, it definitely does feel like we're gonna see RotM definitely going all in, like 100% run at their faces type of comp. My only thing is making sure this isn't a slow farming game. You definitely don't want Silas to kind of waste his potential so early on, and then he just eventually just disintegrates into nothing. Like I would love to see, Wing Nation get some really good aggression early on, especially pre-level 6 against the Vex. But we're gonna have to see exactly how he's gonna have to play this matchup with Poppy being able to counter a lot of his engages in the mid lane. I wouldn't doubt seeing a camp on the mid lane against Wing Nation.
Yeah, I just worry about how does Aatrox play the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like, unless you get just the world's biggest flank. I don't know that you ever get to fight Twitch and Vex, and Gragas can disengage you really hard, Poppy can disengage you really hard. Hell, even Blitzcrank can disengage you to a certain extent, just pull you away from somebody that you're going after. It just, I don't know, it feels very tough to play if you're Totems. But
it definitely does feel, it definitely does going to be a rough matchup for just the Aatrox picks in general, but there really isn't much they're going to want from him to do until maybe level 8, level 9. Obviously, his matchup right now is kind of, I believe it's a skill matchup because you have to be careful if this is an AP Gragas, you know what I mean?
yeah.
He would basically just be obsolete in lane, but I do believe that we will see a lot of action and a lot of skill coming out until later on in the game versus early on. But it is definitely something he does not want to be a part of. Do you hope that the Blitzcrank does hook you in but miss out on the Cosmic Radiance, or do you fail on your dash because Poppy is sitting on top of you, or do you get feared and chain CC'd by Vex Poppy Gragas, or do you get mowed down like a lawnmower by Twitch? So it's definitely going to be rough for him very early on, but I can't wait to see him develop a small lead up top lane to then kind of have potential later on in the game.
We're waiting. Apparently, Classic's jungler went to the bathroom in between draft 1 and draft 2. So we're just sitting here waiting for the readies. Today is Ornn's 5th birthday, which also means it's been 5 years since a tank was released. How do you feel about that?
I feel really good. I think Ornn is definitely one of the greatest champions that have ever came out. You know what? Now that you say that, I gotta look up my favorite champions' birthdays now. That's really cool. That's really cool to see.
Okay, we're finally into draft 2. Well, draft 3, I guess, at this point. And
Yeah.
we banned 5 out of 5. Is this one a correct ban? They did it. All right, we can pick actual champions now.
I really wonder what's gonna look like for Classic Esports if they manage to get an advantage in this mid lane first. I know just seeing Vex being able to roam around the map and just appear out of nowhere from a monitor away, it's gonna be interesting to see exactly how Ban Akali plays this matchup.
Well, so far, RotM took the advice and banned Akali, so 1 for 1 on that.
True, that is very true. They're already at a high advantage. If I'm not mistaken, Tarek should be able to match Poppy's jungle clear speed just fine, given that his stun is pretty wide for these jungle camps.
Yeah, I don't think Tarek does terribly in terms of clear speed. I think his issue is more he doesn't duel super well, and he doesn't gank super well. Like, he can with the right setup, but he's not bringing the damage, you know?
It does make sense for Classic to kind of limit Scram's champ pool in the first game, kind of basically how every game for every series is game 1, kind of just ban out the main, the one tricks, the solo carry laners that they pick. So I'm really looking forward to see how Classic is going to do their banning phase game 2, just to see if they're going to continue to put pressure on Scram. My honest opinion is a mistake doing that because, like I said, we were going to see a pocket pick eventually. You really can't ban out Scram, so I'm really excited to see another Terran game. I think it was one of the most underrated picks in the last series we co-streamed for Surprise Party, and it's just so good. I have fully committed to the love and idea of Terran jungle.
Well, Atlas is all in on the Tarek jungle. What do you guys think out there in chat? Are you all awake? I'm barely awake, so wouldn't really blame you if you're not. But yeah, now we get to sit through 3 more minutes of looking at this particular set of champions. Again, this is week number 3. Both teams come in at 1-1, so looking to, you know, get above 500, get a little comfort going on as the season starts to heat up a little bit. This is a relatively longer season. I think you played 9 games over 8 weeks, so or it's 9 games over 9 weeks because there's a break week in the middle, but you have a double week, which, you know.
Oh, so this won't be this will probably playoffs will pretty much start right up to what, almost Halloween, November?
No, they'll be playing. Finals are on Wednesday, October 26th, apparently. So
Okay.
you're looking at right up to Worlds and everything going on, which is about how it should be, honestly. You never like seeing leagues overestimate that, and then you play on the preseason for your championship, because that's just funny. It doesn't work very well. But yeah, also don't really like leagues that just kind of shut down. Shout out to Aegis. Anyway,
Hey, realistically though, seeing how well organized, or at least in my opinion, not only Victorious but Aegis are, it's definitely really nice to see a lot of these amateur leagues being so well organized. Um, it's cool. It's cool to be a part of. It's cool to be in the environment. I really do like meeting a bunch of new peoples in the atmosphere of amateur or competitive amateur. Oh my god, tongue twister. Amateur and competitive gameplay. Um, it's really cool to see small organizations just try to grow and flourish within these leagues.
Yeah, um, definitely worthwhile. Like, don't hate any of the leagues that we're playing in currently. And I mean, why would you if you continue playing in it? So, um, yeah, here we go. 30 seconds to go. Um, which draft do you like better?
I'm definitely going just because I'm a little bit biased today. Definitely going to RotM's draft. Like I said, the draft the draft phase, you ban out one particular player who really you can't ban out. Like I would have loved to see a little bit more attention into maybe their bot lane or top lane on the draft side, but I think Rodham pretty much is comfortable with what they have more so than what classic esports are comfortable with. Um, they do like both teams have a great idea of what they want to do, but I really like Rodham's a lot more versus classic esports. What about you though?
I honestly think that Classic has a better draft, but um, I just don't see how you engage fights as ROTM. Maybe you don't need to. Also worth noting, it's winged on Aatrox, um, which I didn't know he played this champion. He played,
Oh, the double swap.
yeah, he was the old Aatrox main, but now picking up Baboris, I guess unwillingly. But it's gonna be the Silas top lane for Toe Knuckles, which I don't know that it really changes anything that I had to say. I don't know about Aatrox playing team fights ever. And I don't know that you're strong enough split pushing to counteract the fact that you can't engage team fights unless you just get the world's most Herculean flank, and now you don't even have teleport to do that with.
Yeah, it definitely is kind of a harder matchup now for Aatrox in general to go against someone who kind of wants to zone you away from the wave. Um, for Silas, this is a lot better of a matchup. You do have, someone who is, no offense to the champion, someone who's a bigger target to kind of just punish. Um, it's really cool to see that they actually managed to do another swap like this. I told you the surprise was inbound. It was imminent. But still, I think this is more favorable for top lane. Toe Knuckles going into Ish on Gragas. This is a more favorable matchup for Silas. But in terms of mid lane, I believe it's gonna be a little bit rough for Wing Nation.
You know the trick to get this one to start, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool, because we should be loaded, hopefully.
Yep.
All right.
I'm dancing.
I had something I wanted to look at, and I don't remember what it was. Unfortunate. All
Oh,
right.
looks like we might see an invade.
Yeah, a lot of pings coming off to start out with as we're onto the rift for game number one.
Oh, and Rodham doesn't get control of the tribers. That's actually pretty costly. They just sit under tower. I mean, that's kind of that's a little troll to be honest.
No, I think that this is the plan. You know that the enemy team has Blitzcrank and Gragas, and you got your ward down at red buff, so you're theoretically decently protected against it. Now, did they see that ward come down? They did. Okay, there's the immediate pings. Um,
Yeah, it's good that they're showing attention right now to this invade. I didn't see those words. That's actually not troll as well. I'm trolling as hell, but still, that's great to see that they're actually understanding. Okay, they have a blitzcrank, regardless if he's going to invade or not. We have to respect it.
Yep. So the zip out, they saw the recall on top of the ward. So This has to be known now by ROTM that CE is going to start on their blue buff, because there's really no other place that Wolf could have gone, because he wasn't the one that recalled from the bush. It was Ish up in the top lane.
Really smart decision by RotM. Normally, in my gold elo mindset, my Giga Chad mind, I would definitely sit in the bush, pentakill them. It's really also interesting to see um, the difference in this top lane matchup. Obviously, you have Tonokos going Conqueror, and you have Gragas going Phase Rush. Not sure if people understand the amount of power Gragas has with
Oh,
that
level
Phase
2
Rush. Oh my god,
Densoft.
flash hook!
The flash hook gets the knockup. Altera in a lot of trouble, has to flash away. Uses a lot of resources there to try to stay alive. Still holds on to the heal though. Toe Knuckles hits level 2 in the top lane. And Ish taken pretty low, but there's no real
Oh, if he had
follow-up from
Ignite.
Toe Knuckles. Yeah, if he had Ignite, but that
A
also
lot
would
of
be a bit
fighting.
troll.
Yeah,
Altera
oh,
actually hit back too far off of the minion wave and doesn't hit level 2 at the same time as Death Lotus, so still a little bit scary in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Wing gets pinned into the wall by Wolf, the flash forward from Vanakali. Can the heal come over the wall? It does.
Oh,
Wing
wait!
gets the return with the Ignite and the tower shot.
He
It's
lives!
first blood for Wing Nation on Aatrox. He got close enough to the
Wow.
wall for Scrams to tether to him, and the little tiny heal and shield over the wall from Scrams keeps him alive, and the Ignite helps him turn with the last flash auto.
That was such a great play. You saved definitely first. You definitely saved first blood onto the Aatrox. When you give him a reward, give him the first blood, and that's exactly what you want in this mid lane matchup.
He's got to be a little careful here. Okay, Vanakali not going to be able to find that last little bit of damage that he needed, and Winged will finally go back to base, but really good play, really heads up by Scrams to tether to him over the wall and make sure that he was in range for the heal.
I wish I would love to see a replay of how fast Scrams must have tethered to him, and the max range of Tarek's tether. I did not know it can go that far out.
Oop, Flay looking for a little flank. Catches Death Lotus inside the minion wave. Oh, that hook just singed the hairs on the back of Altera's head.
Oh,
Flay
Scram's
has to
here.
flash away from the flame chompers, and the root from Scram's just going to be a little bit of damage traded back, but really prevents anything, and they get the flash out of Flaydon.
They also get the ghost pulled out from Scrams, but I'm not sure if they understand that he used it. He did come down there like a speedy boy, so he's not gonna have ghost early on in this game.
Yeah, it's not the longest cooldown in the world, though, so wouldn't worry too much about it. But Toe Knuckles, when I play Silas, it doesn't do that much damage. I don't know. But he's doing well with the trades early on.
Yeah, I agree. This is like I said, this is a lot of more.
Oh, he's
real...
still looking for it. Does he have it? One more auto. He got the
he
chains, and he got the solo kill. Toe Knuckles showing up, the Silver Boy Wonder, up in the top lane. That's
Toes
really
in chat,
unfair to
everybody.
him. He's
Toes in
doing well
chat.
for himself, though. Winged with a good trade on to Banakali. Wolf has been sprinting around the map trying to find anything positive, and now does Wing feel the pressure behind him? In comes the Hex Flash into the pin? No? What's happening? I don't really know what's happening. He's scared now, and I guess that's the end of that gank.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned earlier, definitely a better matchup for Silas going against this Gragas, regardless of the phase runners. It's just cooldown wise, the target wise, and just the amount of damage you can just output. Gragas just can't really abuse his passive that much to kind of just stay in lane as much as Silas can. So it's really nice to see that Toe is being very aggressive onto Gragas as early on as possible. You definitely want Silas to have a lead as early as possible. And then for RPC Wolf, I believe he's just trying to make a play as wherever he can. Obviously, he tried coming top lane. He tries coming mid twice now. Just trying to make a play anywhere he can at this point.
Toe, this is more the usual trade pattern for Gragas. You kind of go in, get belly bopped away, and then he zooms with his phase rush. Densoft doesn't hit that hook, apparently. Perfectly timed cut away from the hook in bottom lane.
The game knew. But it's also cool to see that that Wolf is still trying to continue to make plays. We see him coming for a lane gank now for bot lane.
Yeah, Toe has to be a
Scrams is here to
little
match
bit
though.
careful now. But yeah, both junglers in the area in bottom lane. They're getting a really big shove in. Hook. Oof. Again, just a couple of pixels off from grabbing Altera.
She's dancing with fire. I'll tell you that. She's dancing with fire. She does have flashback up again though.
Yeah, Scrams in the area. Now they see Wolf walking in. Do they fancy a 3v3? In come the Flame Chompers. Make Wolf walk the long way around, and we'll be able to clear out the wave. Just a little grab onto the minion. Densoft gets a little extra gold in his pocket.
Really nice really nice counter roam from Scrams. Obviously it's kind of hard to predict if Wolf is going to be lane ganking from there, but still. Oh wait, is Wing Nation going to actually win this trade?
Yeah, Winged hits the 3, hits the World Ender, and Banakali has no mana left. Winged with the solo kill in mid lane, and the 2 solo lanes off to a great start for ROTM.
Wing Nation, you monster, hitting all 3 sweet spots. But yeah, this is what we want to see is RotM. You want to see this kind of start. Obviously, it's only a 400 gold lead for RotM, but still, you still want to have this early pressure as much as possible. So it's good to see that the solo lanes are winning. Bot lane, it's not really that close, but it's good to see that they're holding out as best as they can. Um, if I'm Wolf, I'm definitely gonna see if I can make some plays down in this bot lane because I gotta get Twitch out from that bot lane. I gotta get him to roam mid. I gotta get him to follow me over to Rift Herald. You definitely want to get this bot lane unlocked. It's it's a really nice start for RotM right now. Even though the goalie doesn't say it, it's still a really good start for them.
Yeah, have to keep an eye on the Twitch though. Flay,
Oh,
kind of some weird
Banakali.
items. Wing might have caught Banakali here, although Wolf and Densoft are on the way, so they have to be careful. In
Flash
comes the
is
Cosmic
used.
Radiance. In comes a lot of ults being used, but it's 2v3 right now. Stun over the wall. Scram's taken pretty low. Gets finally taken down. First kill of the game for Classic Esports, and now Wing trying to kite back away. He's got Toe Knuckles to try to help, but immediately Ish is there looking for the turn. He gets grabbed in by Densoft. A lot of
he
damage
gets
coming
caught?
back through, but he's got the flash over the wall, but the flash pin from Wolf has the heal, just continuing to kite. Toe Knuckles is here,
Oh
but
my
can't
goodness.
he turn anything? The rocket takes them solo. 1 kill, 2 kill for Toe Knuckles. Densoft has 200 health. The flash forward, does Toe have anything left in the tank? He doesn't. He didn't want that hook. I don't think he knew that he didn't want the hook, but he didn't hit it regardless. And Ish is going to be there to finally disengage the fight. Toe Knuckles turns it. It's 2 for 2 around the mid lane.
Wing Nation did such a great job stalling that fight as long as possible until Toe Knuckles got there. Obviously, they bit off a little bit more they can chew with Tarek and Aerotrox just going balls deep into a 3-man, but still, they stalled it as long as possible. Cosmic Radiance did a good amount of work, but Wing Nation dodging a lot of dodging a lot
What is Cosmic
of the.
Radiance's cooldown?
I believe it is
Man's just used that, and it's already almost half up. Or over
it
half
is
up.
144 seconds.
144 seconds.
Hmm.
No way.
Yep, level 1.
All right.
3-man onto mid though.
Yeah,
Can he do it
4-man
again?
into mid potentially. Wing trying to outplay, but in comes Ish. They're really giving him the treatment now. The party in mid finally takes him down as Wolf picks up that kill.
You can't pull out any more tricks out of this hat there. You definitely can't win that 4-man. We've seen you do the 3-man, but not the 4-man. It's a little bit too much of asking, but still. Not that bad of a play for Classic Esports. I don't want to say they burned a lot, but it is kind of a wasted money for you to put so much pressure onto this mid lane. You've had your support.
Oh, Banakali with the Shadow. Doesn't hit the Q, but it doesn't matter. The Ignite has enough damage, and he'll pick up a solo kill on Scrams, pick up an extra turret plate, and all of a sudden, a couple punches back from Classic, and they've got the gold lead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say you don't want to waste this goalie that your 80 carry has against this bot lane right now. Because Densoft has had to go around the map twice now, back to back. It kind of relieves a lot of pressure for RotM's Jinx and Seraphine. They're able to walk up a lot more and be aggressive and shove in this farm the wave as much as possible against Flaydon. So it's definitely costly to have Densoft roam like that, but it looks like it's working on their end. And they actually might get another hook play here.
Ooh, yeah. Altera uses the heal, but not the flash. Not really respecting that. The spray and pray opens up from Flay. He's Deathly Lotus
Wing
is still
Nation's
pressuring
here.
forward. They've got the Zap. Wing is here. They've got Scrams hanging around as well. In comes the Infernal Chains. They'll pull back Flay. They have the stun.
Oh!
Q3? Oh, not quite there. The Jinx Rocket just doesn't quite connect. Scrams hits the Cosmic Radiance, but they can't pull the trigger on any of the kills. And the flash away from Flay, plus the exhaust, get him out to safety. Well played by Flay and Densoft down in the bottom lane to escape that gank from Scrams and Winged.
Yeah, you definitely gotta respect that Blitzcrank. Obviously, you don't know if he has flash or not, but you still gotta respect it. Obviously, I prefer to waste the flash over the heal. But still, choices were made. It's a mistake. It is what it is. Classic Esport did a really nice job just stalling not stalling out the fight, but getting out as quick as they can. Obviously, Scrams hit a really nice two-man ult and or sorry, not ult, two-man stun. And Wayne Nation came with some follow-ups, but they got out just fine. And Dragon still wasn't taken, so not the end of the world. The goalie does shift over to Classic Esports though. And we see
Winged
another three-man mid.
looking for it, but yeah, Wolf and Densoft not giving him any room to try to farm. Hits the World Ender, but does he have the healing? Does he have anything left? More ults used, but it just isn't enough for Winged. Wolf takes him down, and now they'll drop the Rift Herald mid. They can burst open this mid lane tower and maybe grab the the dragon after that. Altera and Scrams doing their best to try to prevent this, but really nothing that they can do other than watch. And now Densoft posturing, not going to pull the trigger on a hook. Instead, they'll just collapse Shelly into the tier 2 tower. And Classic chaining some plays back to back to back. They keep rotating toward Winged, and they keep finding gold with it.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely gonna capitalize on this pressure they've been putting back to back onto Wing Nation. Obviously, some things didn't go their way in the beginning, but it's slowly starting to build a lot of momentum right now. They took throughout the first tower. They used the Rift Herald properly. Now they're gonna take this dragon. It's a Mountain Drake too. You definitely don't want to give that up early, but you know that's just the nature of the game. Classic Esports taking a good lead right now, down by 3K gold as well. And it looks like they actually might posture for a tower dive in this bot lane.
Yeah, Densoft and Wolf are here. Oh, that hook. There's no way that ROTM saw that, but just not quite on the mark from Densoft. Wolf's still looking for it. They can wrap around and get a pin into the wall. Flay can't really get involved, so it's just the Poppy and Blitzcrank if they did want to go for a play. And it looks like that's not going to be enough confidence for them to pull the trigger.
Teleport is unleashed now, but I don't think either top laner wants to pull the trigger. Obviously, Ish is really low in mana. Definitely doesn't want to go down as Toe Knuckles had wanted to TP down there to help out their bot lane.
It could be pretty easily interrupted either way as well. Like if you teleport in Vision, if you're Toe Knuckles, then Ish just throws a cask or a body slam at you. There's no way to get down there.
Yeah, neither top laner definitely wanted to go ahead and TP down there. Both the unfortunate endings it would be if either or decided, but still their bot lane survives. They lived in the tail again, and even though it's a big CS difference in this bot lane matchup, it's the pressure that they've been receiving all game. Obviously, Wolf has been doing a lot of roaming, a lot of ganking in the early game. It wasn't successful at first, but I think Wolf is starting to find momentum now. They have the game plan settled. Prioritize mid, and let's go ahead and prioritize his top lane, which he's posturing for right now.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a kill onto Toe Knuckles and help knock him down just a little bit. Toe just trying to abscond himself out, and he's got the flash to be able to escape the pressure.
Yeah, this is something I definitely think you have to do. It would be kind of useless for you to steal Wolf's ultimate, Keeper's Verdict to kind of just ult the Poppy away, because you risk the chance of a flash flash pummel from Gragas. So definitely not really bad to waste your flash there. This is the pressure Wolf is starting to like from that he's doing now. He's putting a lot of pressure onto his bot lane. He's putting a lot of pressure onto his mid lane, Rift heralding there. And he's putting a lot of pressure. He just blew another summoner out of top lane. So it's really nice to see Wolf coming back from his
Altera
Altera
not safe in her own jungle, gets hooked by Densoft. Has to use the Encore to try to disengage. Is that enough to get her out? It looks like
Oh,
it
she does get
is
out.
because Winged and Scrams are posturing toward Banakali. They'll hit the Vex ult and immediately take down Winged. Scrams has the Cosmic Radiance. They'll pull him back in so that they can confirm the kill, and that one will be handed over to Banakali in Classic Esports. They were down 5-2 at one point in kills, have found 6 in a row. They found a couple of towers, and now 4,500 gold advantage.
Yeah, this is the lead that RotM definitely does not want to give away. They had a great start. Not the biggest goalie, but they had a great start. They got some pickup kills on the solo laners, but some key mistakes just constantly just fell. Continue to have Classic Esports come out on top. Obviously, we saw a lot of pressure mid. We saw a lot of pressure bot. So these mistakes that RotM is making right now is exactly the mistake they don't want to make for them to want an early lead. Right now, we're at the point where Ish is just able to outlast the the Silas's damage combo. So it's gonna be rough for Toe Knuckles to kind of develop a lead now in top lane, or actually be even able to stay in lane with them. Um, they're gonna have to surrender over to the second Rift Herald. Not This is not the best thing you want to be in for RotM. It's a slow bleed right now, and it looks like they're gonna go ahead and do another 3-man mid.
Yeah, Winged feeling a little bit of the pressures. He sees Densoft just zooming on in. Saw Wolf on a blue trinket ward, it looks like, as well. So Jig was up a little bit in terms of collapsing on Winged, and he'll retreat back to his tower. Altera just doing what she can to try to get some vision in this jungle. But it's a tough go right now for ROTM. They've got to find a good player too. This might be it. Wing trying to track down Flay. Oh, not quite able to find the Infernal Chain or the second Q.
Yeah, this is a really big slow bleed right now. You're 5k gold behind. Obviously, the KDAs does not look good at all. Um, for some of the players on the RotM, they gotta understand is the game plan for Classic Esports. All right, we don't need Twitch to be babysat. We're gonna let him we're gonna have him on whatever lane we decide. We're just gonna romance 3. All the CC from Classic Esports side, Blitzcrank, Vex, Poppy, just constantly roaming around together to just chain CC their abilities. Um, and they're prioritizing probably their RotM's most dangerous champion late game, Wing Nation. So it's definitely a smart game plan and strategy for Classic Esports coming into this game right now. Even being down 5 kills to 2. So I definitely do agree that this is gonna be a rough game for RotM, just game one. But still, I think they could pull back. We still got the scaling from Jinx. That's gonna be inevitable. Silas still has a lead right now. I think they can still pull it out.
Densoft not quite going to find the hook onto Death Lotus. Good look, though, after they pick up their second dragon. Get a Hextech map and a Hextech Soul potentially now for Classic Esports here in 10 minutes or so. So if the game lasts 29, could see that Soul start to come through.
Yeah, this
Interesting. Ish opted for a Night Harvester on the Gragas, so a little bit more magic damage to pair with the Vex. Heavy magic damage topside, in fact, with the Vex Gragas and even the Poppy doing a reasonable amount of magic damage. Does she do magic damage, or is she all physical? It's
no,
all
she doesn't,
it's percent health something,
Yeah.
because of course it is. But did you have the misfortune to play against old Poppy?
I did. I remember it.
With
And I missed it.
you could build her AD or AP, and no matter how you built her, she just kind of one-shot one person on the enemy team and then walked
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
I vaguely well, not really. I don't think the item was out at the time where you used to build the old Nashor too.
Nah, it was. You could build DFG and just pop somebody. Anyway, Winged is trying to fight 1v3. He's just looking for Banakali. Big charm coming through, but the damage in the CC is there from Densoft to turn that one around. Alteran Scrams trying to retreat away, but Flay opens up with the rat-a-tat, the spray and pray, the whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't quite finish off Altera. She's kind of shield and healing. Lichbane DFG rush Poppy mid. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Toe Knuckles looking for a flank, but gets caught on a ward. Just pops the Blitzcrank ult, and won't get to pop too much more than that. His health bar gets popped in the process. 10-5 now, and ROTM really can't walk into their red side jungle. They can't really walk into their blue side jungle, and they've lost 4 towers now.
Yeah, Classic Esports is just choking out as much vision as possible right now because they know this dragon is going to be spawning eventually. They want to use this Rift Herald bot, which they did, and they're going to go ahead and use that Rift Herald to put a lot of wards out into this red jungle. This is not the worst case scenario right now for RotM. Obviously, you want to prioritize this Baron more often, just because of the fact that you have such great wave clear already with Jinx and Seraphine. It'd be nice if you have the Baron buff just so Silas can match up a lot better versus the Gragas. So Tarek will be able to throw down some, I guess, more shielding. But the whole point is, if Classic Esports continue to put a lot of pressure onto this Dragon side, if I'm RotM, let's just make a game plan for this top side of the map. Let's go take this Baron that's probably not going to be warded since they have our entire red side littered with wards.
Yeah, it's a bit grim for Surprise Party. I'm not really sure how you find your way back into it. Cossack suggested earlier that their strength would be in a 1-3-1 situation, but now with Winged getting the shaft and your group of 3 being as weak as they are, I don't know that that's really a viable strategy right now. So it's a farm angle, I guess, for a little bit, and hope that you scale into the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much just gonna have to be for a little bit longer. I mean, you gotta pretty much pray that the Jinx can scale on time. Right now, even though the KD is not really the best right now for Flaydon, he's still in a really great position with both his mythic item and his Blade of the Rune King. So he's in a great spot already. Um, it looks like they're trying to posture for another 3-man kill. I don't really see. Oh no,
Toe
not
Knuckles?
Toe.
Oh,
Oh, thank goodness.
he didn't get into the vision there.
He knew his sixth sense.
Well, unfortunately, the Sixth Sense not helping out the rest of the squad. This is going to be quite a collapse coming in
Oh
from Classic
no.
Esports through Overvision. They're just running to Flay, who could get blown up immediately. They get the zap onto him. Flay may be in a little bit of trouble, but now the fight going to break out. Toe Knuckles
Cosmic
gets chunked
Radiance?
low, but the Cosmic Radiance keeping everyone alive for the time being. In comes Winged into the backline looking for Flay. They can't quite finish off the Twitch. They do get Banakali on the other side. Death Lotus gets pulled in. That's a really good hook by Densoft. Pin on the
Jinx is in a
Ish.
good spot
It's a
right now.
double kill for Silas, and Jinx has the resets, has the zap. Can they get the chase down? Death Lotus just layering in the autos. They get the charm
Oh,
from
Toe
Scrams.
Knuckles!
Densoft, Toe Knuckles hits this the Vex ult onto Wolf, but can't quite finish off the kill. And ROTM somehow finds a miracle fight 2-for-1, or 3-for-1, excuse me, in their own jungle to keep the game alive and steal away this dragon.
Yeah, it was definitely a great idea for RotM to continue to understand. All right, they're 4-man or they're constantly 3-man roaming around the entire map. We gotta respect that, and we gotta roam together as one. Once they realize, all right, something's not right. We don't have vision on the red side. We don't have vision on our blue side. We gotta rotate together. Let's not split up. Let's not have people stay in the lane or go into the dragon pit to ward. Let's all roam together to the blue jungle. Let's squirt together. And they actually managed to spot out Flaydon, who was separated from his team. And because he was so far out from his team, he had to burn both his summers to kind of get away to regroup with his team, and it just kind of spelled chaos for them. So really, really nice positioning from RotM's side to kind of play the map and kind of wait out to see where the enemy is on this map. Obviously, not the greatest positioning from Flaydon, but still really nice fight for RotM turning out on their way. Really nice, great goal, really great goal as well. Going on to Toe Knuckles and Death Lotus as well. It's almost too good to see.
Yeah.
You got Phantom Dancer completed now on Death Lotus.
Densoft is zipping around.
He's hungry.
He's... Oh.
Oh my goodness.
I was curious about the timing on that one. It looks like Densoft didn't quite have that. You can see the Hex Gate, but just not quite the right timing to go ahead and hook in Scrams.
Yeah.
This is a risky blue buff. Okay, well,
Blitzkrieg things.
it'd be like that sometimes, I guess.
What's mine is still mine. What's yours is also mine.
Yeah, sometimes It'd be like that, you know. Um, this is a really awkward situation for ROTM as they're split across their own jungle, and they have a Blitzcrank and a Poppy in between them, which makes it a little bit difficult to walk back that direction. So you see Scrams taking the long way back around to get back to Death Lotus and Altera. Winged is trying to catch whatever farm he can and try to be ahead of the rotation, it looks like, but Classic have played a really good game up to this point.
Yes.
They've done magnificently, choking out ROTM and making sure that they have access to this jungle that ROTM doesn't. They're getting a lot more resources, but they seem maybe a little bit hesitant and a little bit confused about that next step, the one that you take after this, right?
Mhm.
It's been really clean, but now they've been just kind of walking around the enemy jungle for the past 7-ish minutes and haven't really accomplished a whole lot. Objective bounties are falling off. Jeez. Oh, they did fall off. Crazy. One fight and we're objective bounties off, even though it's still 6,000 gold deficit. But Winged looking for Flaydon, but it's a 2v3 right now. The hook back in from Densoft. The peeling Blitzcrank away from his Twitch, keeping everything alive. Toe Knuckles teleports into the fight as well as Ish, but they're not going to be able to find a whole lot. Instead, it's the full disengage. Densoft with the disengage hook. Can't say enough about that one.
Yeah, Classic Esports, like you were saying earlier, they're playing a really great game, choking out the vision as much as possible, just constantly roaming together as much as possible as well. So it's definitely a situation RotM has to understand that they have to do as well, do as well as their own. Obviously, you don't really want your side laners, Silas and Aatrox, to kind of constantly roam with Scrams, but the whole purpose is you kind of need to at this point, because if you're getting the Deathman 3-man invade or roaming with all their CC being put onto one person, you kind of have to have someone on your team who's at least fed, or if not even, to kind of really, really, really turn these fights around.
A noteworthy moment here, Scrams was able to walk far enough up to get a ward by Dragon, which I think is the first time ROTM has been into the river in the past 10 minutes or so. So, enough pressure dispelled during that last little play that they were able to do that, but now Winged has backed, and everybody is grouping up with 45 seconds to go. This is only Dragon 3. This is not important to fight, so ROTM doesn't have to be here. Classic technically also doesn't, but like they want the dragon, so it's fair that they are. I don't know. I feel like I preach this every week, but you don't have to fight over this one. This dragon doesn't mean anything to either team.
Yeah, it doesn't. If I'm Classic, I definitely don't care about fighting right now. Yes, we have a lead. Yes, we're a lot stronger, but let's win the game. Let's focus on the objective.
Well,
Right now, it hasn't spawned yet.
Classic
but
just wants a pick. ROTM
Yeah,
is the risky one right now. They do not have to venture out of their base for any reason for the next 5 minutes or so. And instead, they're sailing it down mid lane. And Flay is actually separated from everyone. I don't know if they know this, but this is a 4v5 right now. Stun gonna land. They'll send Poppy back to space. They'll hook in Altera. Not quite able to finish her off.
Cosmic
The Cosmic
Radiance.
Radiance comes down just to equalize the fight. Vanakali gets taken down, but it's 1-for-1 as they do lose Altera. Winged trying to find
Flay, no
Flay. They
flash.
can't quite find that one. Densoft now, the re-engage from Ish. Gets the stun onto Scrams. Densoft falls. It's a double kill for the Silas. Flay gets pulled back in by Winged, and he really can't deal with the Aatrox on his face, and now he can't deal with the Silas. A triple kill for Toe Knuckles.
keep going, Toe.
What
Get
a
the
game by
pencil.
Toe Knuckles. 8-1-0 for Toe Knuckles? Are you kidding me? The budget top laner coming through for ROTM, and Dragon number 2 picked up for Surprise Party.
Really good turnaround fight for RotM right there. Obviously, Flaydon was a little bit more concerned about making sure he was out of vision, trying to see if he can come through a side flank in this mid lane, because they seen that RotM was pushing up so much. But still, RotM is coming back. This is what they needed. Toe Knuckles is their savior at this point. Keep saving the game, Toe. You gotta get Death Lotus enough items to be able to do his work. Keep doing God's work right now.
Can we not mention toe gaps in the chat? I'd have to charge on OnlyFans for that one. As good as these plays have been, and they have been great, It's still a 4,000 gold deficit. It's still a scary proposition for ROTM to wander in and take these fights, and somehow they keep finding splits. That one, Flay was a little bit too late to the fight, wasn't in the right position, and ROTM were able to somehow take advantage of that one. The Cosmic Radiances from Scrams have been huge. They've been
Yeah.
separating fights. It's really been remarkable how well these team fights have gone for ROTM, especially as chaotic as they've started both times.
I really do like surprise party approach here. We know that we're suffocating vision in our jungle. They're posturing for Baron. They want to look, or excuse me, Dragon. They want to make a play or a pick as quick as possible so they can go ahead and secure the Dragon. So let's just push mid. Let's just push mid and force them to come to us because we still have objectives to take. We still have towers to knock down. So it definitely pulled Classic Esports away from their comfort area in their red side jungle to force them to come to this mid lane. And like you said earlier, everyone was just kind of separated for Classic Esports. You have Flaydon who had a flash away and get chased down by Wing Nation and Death Lotus. You had Banakali who was right in the middle of it, just kind of taking everything to the face. Cosmic Radiance came down and just didn't really do Classic Esports any justice. Big shout out to Vaughn for coaching out this team, teaching them that mid lane trick. Just push mid if they're doing Dragon.
Well, big item did get completed during that.
What the hell?
Well, we're gonna fight. Never mind. I won't get to talk about it. Oh, jeez, that hook. I don't think he wanted it, but he was looking for it. Big item, as I was saying, completed by Banakali. He's got the Zanya's Hourglass, so now if he goes into the middle of the team, hopefully he can survive there for a little bit longer if you're Classic. Recalls hit. This is just winged. Okay, it's just winged in Altera. Banakali with a little bit of a flank here. Flashes over the Encore. Wolf just ignoring everyone, going for the Seraphine. They'll finish that one off, and in comes the Cosmic Radiance. Winged looking for it. Wolf has to abandon his teammate underneath the tower. Banakali falls to the auto attacks of Death Lotus, and now he's got the reset. It's a double kill for Death Lotus. He's got more with scrams to follow up, and it's 3 kills for ROTM. They lose Altera, but they pick up 2 extras.
That was okay. It's not that bad of a decision to want to dive a 3-man in the tower as a full 5. Or as a full 4, but the issue in that problem is you dove the support. Cosmic Radiance still exists. For what? Why would you want to make this choice? You had Baron available, and looking at the mini-map, you also have vision control on the blue side. Why would you not want to take the objective? What's the purpose of looking for these picks? What's been happening recently in these last couple of fights, Classic Esports is just trying to look for a pick to kind of guarantee these objectives, but I don't think they don't understand how powerful they are right now and how big of a lead they had. The gold lead is pretty much almost cleared out. RotM is climbing their way back. It's not spelling out in towers and objectives. So
I think had is the key word at this point.
Yeah.
When they were up 8,000, sure, you can just swing your wallet at them. Go just take Baron, because what are they going to do about it? But now,
yeah, exactly.
It's a risky proposition. Our team have shown that they can fight, they can claw their way back, and now they've taken Baron. They're going to posture for this Dragon, which, you know, again, literally doesn't matter. It's the 3rd Dragon for either team. But we're going to fight over it anyway, because that's what we do here. I'm really curious. Wolf finished up Anathema's chains. Who you chains it? Do you chains Jinx? Just because that's,
I believe he is
theoretically who you're taking damage from, or you chain in Silas?
I believe he's gonna prioritize that on Death Lotus, but I don't think it's a really that good of a buy here. Again, look, RotM is pushing out the mid lane, forcing Classic Esports to get out of the jungle.
He did chain. Uh-oh. Altera's separated from this squad right now. They'll take the mid tower. Toe Knuckles has the Blitzcrank ult. It just blows up Banakali. It's the 1v1 kill. Big ults being exchanged. A double kill for Toe Knuckles. The charm hits. Wolf gets shut down by Death Lotus, and ROTM continues to zerg it down mid. They've got the minion wave. They've got a long death timers, 40 seconds still before anyone is up. How much can they get now? Yish and Densov just trying to do anything they can to disengage and slow down the onslaught from RotM's surprise party.
Big turnaround swing right now. RotM can actually win the game right here.
Yeah, the hook in, but I don't think he wanted it. This time the hook connects and it's a little bit of a mistake. Now Ish gets separated. It's a double kill for Death Lotus. They're just wailing away on the towers, and it's game one going to RotM's surprise party. The comeback anchored by the budget top laner Toe Knuckles. 10-1-3 on the Silas. What a performance by Toe and Death Lotus.
Can we get some toe gaps in the chat real quick? Toe gap from man Toe Knuckles.
Uh, Well, we'll ROTM up 1-0. We'll see if they can bring it home in game one. Or oh my god, in game two. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We'll be right back though. You can talk if you want to. I don't. It ain't that
I'm
big.
sorry, I'm just stunned by the uh the talent we've seen from Toe Knuckles in top lane.
The biggest toe gap you've ever seen.
Yep, the biggest toe gap ever. What a banger game one.
This is apparently the LCK like 2022 background music. I don't know that I like it. I might have to hear it like I haven't been able to watch LCK, but
I like it. For the moment, it kind of sets the mood, you know?
it's soothing. It builds, but like I don't know. It's no escalating events. It's no original LCK champs like music. So
Draft just started.
all right. Well, we back. Game number two. RotM won a banger in game number one. Comeback. They were behind 7,000, 8,000 gold at one point. Clawed it back behind the toe gap in the top lane. Death Lotus went deathless. So that was pretty cool. Winged had 6 deaths. What was he doing? Who knows?
Don't do Wing like that. He did good.
He absorbed a lot of pressure for the squad.
Yeah,
they,
he
They
did.
roamed 3 and 4 people through mid lane every
He
other
took the
minute,
blunt
and
of the damage there.
he definitely did damage. But yeah, normally you expect the big crooked scoreline in Wing Nation's column, but it was Toe and Death Lotus that brought it home for ROTM in game one, and that sets the stage now for game number two, where what are you gonna change up? CE have taken blue side. They're banning Tarek. That's fair. All right, it's gone.
Respect for it, man. You gotta respect it. It definitely stalled out a lot of these fights. I mean, you couldn't really utilize spray and pray that effectively unless you managed to have Keeper's Verdict swing away the Tarek. you kind of had to have scrams out of these fights as much as possible for spray and pray to actually do any value. But
It felt
it's
like we
being banned
weren't
away this time.
seeing, yeah, like maximal usages of Keeper's Verdict or the Gragas Explosive Cask. So instead, just get rid of it. Seems fair. And the first pick Trundle for Classic Esports. We troll in B1.
It's a good flex pick right now. I mean, it's an aggressive top laner, definitely, but I don't really see the best matchup for it mid lane. Scrams definitely does have a lot of picks available. Do we get to see his Master Yi though?
No, you don't talk about hovers. Similarly to Bruno, you don't talk about it.
Wow.
It'll be Silas
Easy.
locked in, which now we've seen Toe Knuckles pilot it. We've seen Winged pilot it. Um, yeah, that throws a curveball into the draft that now CE has to think about. The Katarina for Death Lotus. Oh boy. That would
Wait,
be a
Death
real
Lotus-
treat. I don't think you can flex that way unless you declare it before draft, though. So it'd be a Katarina bottom lane. Sounds a bit troll. And it's going to be renewed to Gluck, picked up for Altera.
I don't know where you come up with this. Renewed to Gluck.
Renetta Gleck? I don't know. Something like that. Augustus Gloop in the bottom lane. CE, Densoff. The Blitzcrank seemed good. Back to another hook champ. Gonna go for the Nautilus. A little bit more standard, a little less all in, but still bringing that aggressive power. Renew to Gluck. Renew to Gluck. Oh, that's you. I don't need to repeat that. Okay.
Oh my goodness. But Nautilus being picked up, definitely a great counter against Renata Glass. I mean, early on it's gonna be annoying, but as we're getting picked up, that's actually it's actually a pretty smart pick. You definitely don't want to give an AD carry with a great ultimate away to Silas.
What? Ezreal's a... Alright. I hate this pairing.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of pairings for bot lane.
But your idea, I guess, Densoft was roaming nonstop on the Blitzcrank anyway.
Yeah.
So now he can roam on the Nautilus and do the same thing, and Ezreal just kind of gets to do his thing down in bottom lane by himself, and hopefully not die to Ashe and Renata Glask. So maybe a little dangerous matchup down there in the bottom lane, and we'll see if Death Lotus and Altera can get off to a little bit better of a start than they did in game number 1.
I just out of personal experience, I am a very big fan of Ashe Renata. I think it's very underrated. I think a lot of people don't really understand the just the amount of utility that bot lane has right now. It's really good to have two champions that kind of want to just feed off of each other in terms of abilities. So it's really nice to see that they both have understanding. All right, once we get the Ezreal to slow down in this lane, we're running him down. There's no way he's gonna escape us. If he does, it's gonna cost a summoner spell. Like we mentioned, or not we mentioned, like we've seen earlier in game 1. Obviously, Classic Esports had this game style where they constantly want a 3-man roam and just go around the map and just exploit their CC as much as possible. So we probably might not see a lot of pressure down in this bot lane later on to the game. Earlier on, maybe so. He'll probably still be threatening on it. I think Densoff was probably playing his Blitzcrank really, really aggressively as much as possible. So we'll definitely see a lot of pressure onto this Nautilus in the bot lane early on. Later on in the game, though, it definitely is not the greatest of attributes you want to have. It's not an ultimate you want to give away to Silas, but we'll see what their game plan is.
Alright, our team looking need a jungler and a solo laner. And it looks like the jungler, Jarvan number 4, heralding the start of Jarvan 5. I don't know if you saw that particular news. Ambition named his... It's a birth name, so they assign a name before the child's born, and then they give him an actual name when they are born, is, I guess, how some Koreans do it. So the child's birth name is Jarvan 5 for Ambition, which is just fantastic, so appreciate that. Anyway, Diana is picked up for CE. That's interesting. I'm concerned about this Poppy hover.
It's not that bad of a pick if they want to select this Poppy actually.
I I just feel like your strongest combo right now is Trundle top lane with Diana jungle with
Yeah.
the Sunfire build, but the Poppy would imply that the Poppy is jungle, and there it is. So that's Diana mid, Trundle top, and you have no synergy between any of your champions.
Yeah, it kind of just looks like classic esports just want to pretty much dive and just live with whatever results they get. This is kind of a way different comp than what they had last game. Last game, it's not only are we going to commit, but we also have a backup plan in case the things doesn't go that well. Um,
Oh,
it
the
looks
Shyvana, let's go. Okay.
it looks pretty much similar for RotM. Like they want to run at you, but they want to wait until you guys engage first. They want that Diana to come in, or excuse me, they want that Ezra to make a mistake and kind of just miss position. Obviously, it's not really the smartest thing to do to kind of engage him if he has a summoners or arcane
Oh,
shift.
okay.
But still, it's a nice comp from both. It's a nice comp for RotM. It's gonna be a disadvantage for classic esports.
Yeah, I don't know what the idea is behind Classic's comp, right? Like you have the Nautilus engage, you can follow that into Poppy Diana. Like I can see you blowing up one person, but usually you want to pair Diana with some more AoEs or you know some other setups somehow so you can hit the big moonfalls, or you run her as the engage and you like. There's a couple of ideas behind Diana, but right now she is the damage, right? You have Ezreal just kind of pew pew in the back line, just doing his thing, and then you have Diana going in, and the rest of your comp doesn't deal damage, and they don't really fight that well, so it's just you're picking for solo lanes then. So you gotta get your Trundle ahead, I guess, and split push. You gotta get your Diana ahead and split push, and hope that you're stronger than Sylas and Shyvana.
Yeah, I guess for classic esports game plan right now, they definitely do want to put a lot of pressure again onto this mid lane maybe to get Banakali rolling like he was last game. My only issue is you're risking a lot sending Diana out first in alone into this engage to somebody like Renata and Sylas. Do you really want to just throw that? I mean, obviously Poppy and Nautilus will join there shortly, but the game plan for classic esports pretty much just looks like send Trundle into the back line, make him cause havoc.
So when you do that, you're fighting directly into Renata, Ashe,
Yeah,
Jarvan. Like, I don't know. It feels like if you're trying to force in, that doesn't work. If you're trying to peel, it doesn't work. If you're trying to 5v5 team fight, it doesn't really work. So you just got to rely on being stronger at side lanes, which your characters are pretty good at. But like, does Trundle really beat Shyvana that hard? Not that hard unless you get him really ahead. Does Diana beat Sylas that hard? Not that hard unless you get her really ahead. So I think we're gonna have to see a really good early game here from Wolf and Densoft to help set up Banakali and Ish.
yeah, it's definitely looking like a draft gap right now. I'm really excited to see Sylas again. I mean, I hope it's gonna be Toe Knuckles on Sylas again one more time, just so we can have another good game. But still, seeing a Shyvana top, I don't think is that bad.
I really like Shyvana top. Big fan of that pick.
I think it's very underrated right now having Shyvana top lane. I'm not sure how it does into the matchup versus Trundle, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think Trundle's one of the harder matchups probably. Because like tanks you kind of beat up because you have your armor shred. Like bruisers you're just tankier than, and you can blow up with your firebomb. But Trundle is that like perfect in between where he's probably too tanky to blow up, but he also just wants you to fight him. So like you don't win those quick trades. It seems like it's a rough matchup, but I think you're fine eventually in that lane, as you are in most Trundle matchups.
Yeah, definitely looking like a draft, to be honest. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying that because I'd rather have RotM's comp than Classic Esports. Classic Esports comp looks kind of like a solo queue comp. Uh, I don't know. They definitely got lockdown. I'll tell you that. They can definitely lock down an individual target. Now, whether that target is Wing Nation overextending too much, or Death Lotus mispositioning, or tower diving Altera again, I don't know. But let's see what Classic Easter pulls out for Game 2.
Well, 3 minutes until we find out our team up 1-0. Again, our schedule is packed for the week. We got this banger that you've already seen tonight, and then Surprise Party returns to the Rift tomorrow night against Cossacks and Friends, which should be another banger, back-to-back bangers by Surprise Party. Thursday night, Darkwind starts their onslaught in Victoris. I didn't look up and see who they were playing, I'll admit. But that should be a good game. And then Friday night, we've got Dread versus an opponent to be named later because they're still drafting everything. Which, I mean, are you excited? Have you played any other best of fives? Is this your first one?
I do have some experience with best of fives. It's definitely not fun. Um, it's something like just from my experience as being an amateur competitive player. It definitely it's kind of nerve wracking because you go into the game or the series where not only does every game matter, but developing that early game lead, like having at least maybe 2-0 as early in the start of the series, it's definitely something you kind of feel mentally. Like you lose a lot of confidence being gapped in the series if you're down 2 games or even down just one sometimes. Like if a game just doesn't really go your way, um you kind of bring that out to game 2. If game 2 doesn't really go your way, then your morale and your spirit is kind of just pretty much just, hey, let's just get this over with. We didn't do so well game 1 and 2. So I think a lot of it is going to be a real test of like our team's mental, and I hope that we can persevere and we actually can make you happy, Maris, and win a playoff series.
I am a noted best of five and amateur hater. Um,
Because of the viewing, or
no, it's just so there's large gaps between teams in amateur. Like that's just a thing that exists, right? There's some I would happily sit there and watch 5 games of, but most of the time you go into a best of 5 between 2 amateur teams and you are getting a 3-0. That is the output. It doesn't matter which team wins, like the seeding doesn't necessarily matter, but which team wins the first game usually just wins the next 2, and that's the series. And that's all you
yeah,
get. Um, I want to math it out, but I swear it's something like 70% of amateur series are just 3-0s immediately, and then the other all 3-2s. There's no 3-1s. They don't exist.
yeah,
Even though that is the most common result in pro play. Fun fact. But
you definitely get a great adrenaline rush. I I played in a couple of best of 5 series, and just because I played in a couple of them, every best of 5 series on when you're on game 5, it feels like your first time ever being in a best of 5 series. Just like the pressure, like regardless of like you getting a 1350 skin, the whole point is like this is a game 5 series. Like this is it. You know what I mean? This determines whether you're the better team or not. So
yeah,
excuse me. So
I'm
it's
just
definitely tough
exhausted
to,
by that point playing.
yeah.
Just give
It's
me.
definitely a mental game.
I'm tired at the end of a best of 3 that goes 3 games when I'm playing. I don't. I'm not about that life.
I get you.
Granted, I've played a grand total of 2 best of 5s ever, and they're both 3-0s that we won. So I'm extraordinarily lucky in that regard. But still, I was still just exhausted at the end of 3 games that we won back to back to back.
Mhm.
Anyway, here we are, game number 2, on to the Rift. Classic esports on the blue side. Return to the Middle Stick Surprise Party on the red. Uh, some interesting summoner spell choices have already been pointed out by pings in the chat. Altera going to spot out the enemy team and hit them with the E. Oh, oh the just Put him in the chamber. Just throw him through there with the flag on one side, the volley on the other. Uh, so invade doesn't work out for classic esports, but they'll get the vision. They don't lose anything out of it.
Yeah, that was a pretty lackluster invade. Obviously, they were spread out way too much to reveal vision. Obviously, Altera was able to spot them out first, but you also had Scrams in the mid lane in the mid lane bush as well, able to see them, and it, it's different this time because it's not the Blitzcrank that can hook you over terrain. It's the Nautilus who has to hook you before the terrain. So definitely a smart idea of 5 point this time for RotM. Um, what I think this means, they have a lot of discipline. Just the fact that they want to understand, all right, regardless or not he invades, you got to respect it. Let's 5 point. Um, it's really great to see that they understand that they have to respect him no matter what. Um, but still, either way, it's nice to see from classic esports to want to be that aggressive again.
Well, let's settle in here. Scrams is starting up on the top side, so we're clear in opposite directions as the junglers, which can always result in some interesting moments. So far, I like Death Lotus and Altera have gotten a good shove going, so they're not going to get level 2'd this time, which I think is part of the issue. That's where things started to go wrong, right, for Death
Yeah.
Lotus and Altera in game 1.
Yeah, definitely at the level
With
of
a
advantage
level
that
2
sucks.
from Scrams, Winged finally hits his level 2. Banakali going very aggressive, but now Scrams is here with his red buff, just juking out. Oh,
he misses
the
his
sidestep
chain.
on the chain. But now the
Oh, but he
re-engage
hits
from the flag and drag. He's got the flag back over, but the flash is back to chase him. Wing finally finishes it off with the Kingmaker, and it's first blood for Wing Nation in the mid lane on
And
Silence.
soft? No.
He's fine. Never better.
But okay, so aside from the gank of mid lane, I really want to talk about that bot lane. That's the power you really have to suffer as a tank, or I guess you could say a engaged support going into this Asher Renata. You're just gonna get mowed down if you don't land your combo. So obviously, for Nautilus, it didn't land the hook, but either way, just suffered so much trading and lost out on that. He's gonna have to back, and Flydon's gonna be in a position where he's just gonna have to solo the lane pretty much for the next minute and a half because Sensoff is so low and is gonna want to back so late.
So this, okay, I'm not going to get to talk about it because Winged and Banakali are doing the thing again where they hit each other. And Banakali has Ignite. Oh, the minions are doing so much damage. Winged, does he have enough in the tank? He doesn't because Wolf is there with the flash pin to turn it back around. So we're 1-1.
I think bringing out teleport for Silas in the mid lane is a little bit goofy, but I would have propped for the ignite. I think if you had ignite there in that situation, you definitely do win.
Oh, Scram's looking for Banakali now. Autos, doesn't have red buff, so it doesn't really matter. Alright. Well, I lost my train of thought. I had something I wanted to talk about. Oh, the gank in top lane. So you started bottom as Wolf, so you're clearing toward top lane. He cleared his 3 camps on his red quadrant and then walked to top lane. Just kind of watched Toe Knuckles under tower for a little bit, and then ran mid, flashed in for that kill, right?
Yeah.
That's not a replicable jungle path. That's not going to find a high degree of success usually. If you're up there as Wolf, you have to think that you're catching Scrams, I guess. So they must have just had the wrong read on the direction Jarvan was clearing, but they saw him. I don't know. I'm very confused, I guess, about the pathing for Wolf.
Yeah, it's definitely is questionable, but I think Wolf doesn't care because if he gets a repeat of last game where he develops that early lead because he's successful in these roams, I think it's not going to really matter as much for him. He's probably going to be fine being down jungle camps to Scrams, but if he's successful in these roams as he was just now in this mid lane, I think it'll be playing out just fine for them because the Goldie's not going to be too crazy.
I'm trying to separate the end result from whatever the pathing was. this, right? The end
Yeah.
result is really good for him. He got a kill. He's very far ahead. Having trading bottom lane, Ignite down onto Altera, Exhaust onto Flaydon, as Death Lotus just trying to kite back away with that Ranger's Focus. Altera gets hooked in again. They're just splitting the damage a little too much. Death Lotus falls as the jungler, well, Scrams got spotted by Banakali, and it's 1 kill for Classic Esports.
Yeah, I understand popping the ghost there for Death Lotus, but standing melee range for Nautilus to
Scrams
get
is in a little
four
bit of
autos.
trouble here as Wolf and Banakali's still here. Flag and drag underneath the tower, and Altera and Scrams have nowhere left to go. It's the pool's open.
Wait?
Here comes the dive.
Oh,
Scrams
no.
not quite able to turn that one back around with the W. Altera just doesn't have the damage, but now Winged
Oh,
can
Wing
clean 2
Nation's
up.
here.
They get 2 in exchange off of the dive as Winged was able to zip in and grab Densoft on the end of that one. It's still going to be a net positive for Classic, but Winged is still looking. He can grab the Ezreal ult. I don't think it's quite enough to finish off a kill. Hits the chain, but it gets blocked. Okay. Yeah, that's all we've got.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that the bot lane really couldn't pull out that win. I definitely do think they win if Death Lotus spaced out a little bit more, got away from Nautilus, so that way he wouldn't have suffered 4 auto attacks. But then again, Nautilus passive does kind of interrupt that, so I understand. But either way, you still have flash available. I definitely think you could have dodged maybe in 2,
Ooh,
at
the
least
subjugate
2
coming down from Ish, just burning through Tentacle's health. He has to use his ghost to try to get away.
Oh, Densoft
Meanwhile,
mid.
Wing getting ganked in mid lane. Densoft is here, going to try to turn that one around, and they successfully do. Banakali picks up his 2nd kill. He's got
Some
no farm,
momentum
but he's
now.
got 2 kills.
Yeah, some momentum now going for Classic Esports. This is pretty much what they were doing last game. Put as much pressure as possible. Obviously pressuring bot lane to a tower dive, and now roaming around to gank mid lane. As you saw earlier, RPZ Wolf flashing in mid lane to secure a kill. It's a lot of pressure that they want to put on early, but hopefully they can transition this early lead into a solid mid game, into a game closing.
Yeah, they've got to try to find the next steps now. We saw them have just a really fantastic early and mid game, but then kind of stall out around the town that they got through the inner towers. They had trouble breaching the base of ROTM, and that allowed them to find a couple of really unique fights and unique angles to get back into it. Hopefully that doesn't happen to them again. Like to see teams clean it up just a little bit, but so far so good. Out to about a 2,000 collective gold lead, and it's not really centralized anywhere. It's kind of spread out, but Flay, I guess, is going to be the biggest recipient of it.
Yeah, I was just about to say too. Even though it's a bit of a difference in champions this time, you don't have the Jinx this time to kind of scale into that late game. For Ash, it's kind of rough to wait that long. Ezra's just gonna get to a point where he's just gonna do like 1/3 of your HP with these mystic shots. So it's not the same situation as last time so much for RotM, because you can't put all your eggs onto this Ashe player. Oh, is Densoft gonna be able to? Okay, no. You can't put all your eggs into the basket for this Ashe pick, just because of the fact that she requires way too many items. She requires 4 items for her to actually be a super relevant auto attack champion. So, I think Classic Esports definitely has enough time right now because of the early lead they develop. And look, here they are again, smothering their top side, and it looks like they want to do another tower dive.
Yeah, looking for Toe Knuckles. He's just trying to clear out all of the minions that he can. Now they finally clear out that minion wave. Banakali and Densoft both here. Wing collapses.
Ash arrow?
The Ash arrow, just didn't hit anyone. Winged pulls in with the Moonfall, but the counter Moonfall is big. The Jarvan Jacuzzi locks up a couple of people, but Toe Knuckles can't get into it. Scrams has to flash away. He's burning down to red buff, and Ish takes him down with the aid of the Subjugate. Just a little couple of missteps by ROTM and a couple hundred health as Densoft and Wolf are able to escape. And Death Lotus and Altera looking for it in bottom wave. They'll get the Berserk onto the minions. Do they have the rest of the damage? Death Lotus just trying. If only they had Enchanted Crystal Arrow now. I think that they get that kill, but
Yeah.
not quite able to find that one in the bottom lane.
I think if that Enchanted Crystal Aerial hit top lane, I think it spells out the team fight a lot differently. You definitely win that a lot more because you're buying enough time for Wayne Nation to get his cooldowns up. It just didn't spell out their way. Toe Knuckles didn't have Dragon Form. He was still trying to build it up. You had Nautilus up there who uses Ignite, have all of his ultimates up. Didn't really spell out too well for RotM on their side. But still, they're trying to match the aggression. They're trying to do some pressure onto Flaydon, but just a safe 80 carry pick, you know. Oh wait, actually they might get Wing Nation.
Densoft looking for it, but Winged finds the solo kill before Densoft is able to really intervene. They
Rams is
grab
on
the
the way.
dragon as well. Densoft can't hang around. I don't know that he knows that. In comes the Dredge line. It's a double kill for Wing Nation in a 1v2.
That's a really big pickup right there for Silas right now in this position, in this point of the game. Obviously some pressure being put onto you a lot right now, but you're still winning the matchup against Diana in the mid lane. Excuse me. It's really good to see that Rodham picked up this Ocean Drake very early on. That's something you definitely want to have Silas to have. Something you definitely want to have Renata have because she uses so much mana into the bot lane. So it's really nice to see that Rodham is winning somewhat of these fights. A lot of the gold is poured onto Wing Nation right now. It's only a couple hundred gold deficit right now, but top lane smacking each other right now.
Yeah, that Subjugate really... Well, he doesn't even have it. That was just the lethal tempo, which is kind of an interesting pickup on Trundle. I've seen that a couple of times now, and I don't know how I feel about it. It makes me feel some kind of way. I'm not sure how. Winged is going to find Bandit Kali a little bit isolated. The Moonfall comes in. Winged, does he have the ult in the tank? He doesn't need it. Scrams is here. Doesn't want to take it. Winged secures that one. He's got 6 of the 7 kills. Altera has the spare, and ROTM continues. A lot of pressure toward mid lane. They're going to lose out on this top lane. Toe Knuckles has been suffering a little bit for success in game 1, and now his tower is going to go down as they drop Shelly up on the top lane.
Yeah, Wolf is trying to do as much pressure on the top lane. He definitely wants to unlock Ish out from this lane. He wants Trundle to basically be around this map. I think the only person that could respond to this Silas being disfed is either
a little bit rough. Ish actually tanks an extra tower shot. He's still got the Subjugate. Does Scrams have the damage to chew through? He doesn't. Toe Knuckles now. I think that he could, but Winged is also here looking for the return. He'll find one. Hook lands in the bottom lane, though, onto Altera. In comes the True Shot Barrage, but the tower shots are too much. They take down Densoft. Flay is stuck behind minions, and that's not where you want to be as Ezreal. The Exhaust trying to turn it, and Altera just escapes with her life. Shut down for Death Lotus, and a 2 for 0 for the RotM bottom lane.
That was such a great hostile takeover. The RotM lane, I heard.
I've been casting this organization for 3 years now, and that's the first time I've made that joke. Would you believe it?
I wouldn't actually. I with your genius of a mindset of memes, I know you just said it before. But still, the RotM lane, actually pulling out a nice 2v2 in the bot lane. That's something you gotta respect as knowledge. Like, you gotta always respect that hostile takeover is actually an ability. Like, unless it's down, you really can't commit that hard. But still, I think what Toe Knuckles is having... Wing Nation is actually getting caught up with Trundle.
Alright, the Subjugate counter
Subjugate
combo. He's got enough to chunk through? Excuse me, Winged? Alright, well, he's dead now. Never mind, he's fine. The Jacuzzi coming through. They'll finally be able to Zerg down. It's a shutdown that does go to Wolf on the Poppy. Toe Knuckles is looking for the Fire Breath. Where's the Fireball coming? It's a double kill for the Shyvana.
Yeah, I was just about to say Toe Knuckles is getting really unlucky with some of these fights that he's having around with Scrams because Scrams' ultimate is just up too long. He can't really get in. He has to kind of just wait outside the club because he can't get in. Chris Brown joke right there, if you know what I'm talking about. But all I'm saying is, it's really hard for Toe Knuckles to get into these fights because of the...
Crystal Arrow going to land on the Flay. Do they actually have the DPS? One more Ranger's Focus shot, and Death Lotus picks up the kill. He's got 3 now in the bottom lane, and the rest of RotM coming online at the right time. They've leveled up the gold count. They're 5 ahead in kills now. Just need to get a couple towers. They lost out a little bit in the turret plate game, which is why the gold count is so even right now.
Yeah, they're definitely catching up really, really quickly. This is some of the issue, or some of the, I guess you could say, consequences that Wolf is going to have with the amount of pressure he's been putting as much as possible early game, where he's just constantly roaming, constantly trying to cause havoc with these team fights, constantly trying to be all up in your face. You kind of lose out on a lot of lane pressure with Densoft also assisting on these roams. We saw Densoft go top lane twice. We saw Densoft go mid lane twice. So you're losing a lot of pressure right now for him bot lane. And it's kind of just spilling out some individual solo kills for Death Lotus and Altera. because he's so alone.
Well, 1v1 between top laners, very honorable so far, but Toe Knuckles is going to retreat from it. And another tower in the top side. This is some of the power of that top lane Trundle that you had to see come to bear if Classic was going to be successful here in Game 2. And Ish is well online. He's got his Blade of the Ruined King. He's chomped through 2 towers. Now you really need to see them flip and try to get the Trundle involved somewhere else on the map. Flay and Densoft trying to get aggressive with Death Lotus, or at least get through that tower, and he's just standing his ground. Now Scrams has entered the scene in the bottom lane. Winged is clearing mid. It successfully escaped a gank, and now looking for Banakali as he's got a 2-level advantage. Scrams hits the Golden Aegis. In comes a lot of ultimates to try to lock down Flay. They'll get the Flag and Drag, they'll get the Jacuzzi, and it's 2 kills.
Death Lotus.
Oh no! Death Lotus got a little too close to the tower. Scrams has the Gore Drinker to try to heal back up on Wolf. Altera and Scrams probably don't win this fight 1v2, but they'll be able to head toward the dragon now.
I think that's worth if you're RotM. I mean, you're satisfied just trading 1 for 2, plus a dragon for your side. Wing Nation also going to pick up another solo kill here.
Has to be careful. I think he's fine. Never a doubt. Winged gets the solo kill in mid lane on Banakali. Ezreal just gonna chip him down to about 100 there. A little scary. Scrams and Altera starting up the dragon now, potentially? No, still not super. No? Now they're interested in it. This is a little bit late because Densoft is going to be able to walk in. They've got the Hawk Shot to be able to see. It's Scrams and Altera. Now Death Lotus able to join. 4,000 health still on this dragon. Wolf is just over the wall. He's got Hex Flash, but he can't really get in position, it looks like. The E just kind of zoning. Altera gets hooked. They're focusing on the dragon. They'll take that one, and they're going to let Altera go. That's awfully kind of Classic. I don't think they had to do that, but 2 dragons now in the pocket of ROTM, and Classic going to get a little bit of a push in mid.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to continue to have this aggression that they had in early game for Classic Esports, but the issue is your scaling doesn't really work well if your solo laners are not that much ahead. Obviously, Wing Nation gets caught though. Wait, he could actually win this.
Yeah, Wing pulls the Nautilus ult, just uses it directly onto the Nautilus himself. Densoft has to use his exhaust, and now the stopwatch comes out. In comes this Enchanted Crystal Arrow, finishes that one off. Does he have the healing from the Kingmaker? Wing dashes out, he's able to stay alive. Meanwhile, Death Lotus just working on Banakali in the bottom lane, finishes him off with a Ranger's Focus. Winged escapes in mid. They lose the tower in bottom lane, so it's actually a positive gold swing, very slightly for Classic. But the kills just keep falling for ROTM. Now they need to find the objectives, as they have no towers to their name thus far. Wolf trying to find it. The handshake comes out. In comes the hostile takeover. It only finds the Poppy as she just runs directly at the minions. Sends Winged away. It's just Scrams and Altera trying to scrap this one out, and that's not quite enough for ROTM to want to consider pushing. Toe Knuckles is joined up, and mid tower should eventually fall, I would imagine, off of this sequence. Although they don't have any ranged characters. Yeah, maybe it's fine.
Big pickup, by the way, for Death Lotus getting a solo kill on Banakali. That's just the power you got to surrender over once the Ash just starts running you down. Really great individual kill there. Wing Nation pulling out some tricks from his magic hat right there, surviving as long as he did. That was a great stopwatch, by the way. Or I should say Zonia's, by the way. Stalling out as much time as possible for Scrams to get there and for your cooldowns to come back up. A lot of well-played fights there for coming out for RotM right now. And even though Classic Esports is trying to continue this aggression as much as possible, RotM is answering really well because it's a comp diff at this point. You gotta respect the strength and weaknesses that RotM has right now, because it's just not working out in your favor with the aggression you're trying to put with such a lopsided comp on Classic Esports side.
Well, regardless of what's been going on in these team fights, Classic has still been finding the objectives, which has kept the gold remarkably even at this point, and ROTM have yet to crack their first tower of the game. Wing now has to try to fight his way out of a 1v2 with Wolf here. He's got the Moonfall available. If he can get the pull in, he's going to look for two, I imagine. Zanya's is away the first Moonfall, but now Densoft is here to try to join up. Can he get the turn? It's just not quite enough damage there. Channel Crystal Arrow not quite going to help out as the Ezreal ult did the reverse and was able to help finish off Wing.
I think if Wig Nation used his combo onto RPZ Wolf there instead of a Bandit Collie, he may have been able to pick up a 1-for-1. But it's too much. It's too risky to say though. Oh, Densoft misses his hook.
Yeah, Densoft couldn't quite hook into the terrain, and now eventually will die as a result of this. Scrams finishes him off. Not a whole lot of damage coming out from the Bruiser Jarvan the Fourth, but enough, it looks like. Toe Knuckles is just trying to clear the minion wave away from Ish. Now he's taking tower. That gets a little risky. I don't know that he loses the fights by enough. Ish is just really disrespecting, I think, the damage from Akali if Toe had focused on him for a little bit. I kind of want to see Toe just build a Blade of the Ruined King and counter. I'm not sure.
I think if you're Toe, you just at this point you just gotta understand like, okay, I can't really match up that well against him. I just need to slow him down enough for the team at this point. As long as it's just not in any of these mid lane fights for RotM, I think they're gonna continue to win this. Obviously, we saw Ish try to 1v1 Wake Nation earlier, and that didn't work out too well. But still, came up very close, and that's just the power of the trend on how aggressive he can be. So, I definitely do think that with Toe Knuckles keeping pressure onto Ish on these side lanes, it's definitely a win for RotM right now.
If you're Ish, I feel like your third item should just be a... God, what is it called? The split push item. You know the one.
Hullbreaker?
That one, yeah. I
Yeah,
feel
that
like you just Hullbreaker
be
third and just really double down into your split push, because right now you're actually chunking through objectives faster than ROTM is able to do anything about them. Like, they still have not... ROTM hasn't cracked the structure. I've said that a couple of times, but it continues to be true in this game at 22 minutes.
Bit of an ARAM game mode here.
Yeah, this is, I think, playing into the hands of ROTM, though, if this is what actually happens, because here comes Toe Knuckles to try to join up a 5v5. Wing steals the Nautilus ult for the engage. They'll pull the trigger now, just able to lock up a couple. In comes a big...
Oh, hostile takeover was nice there.
Yeah, big hostile takeover from Altera. They find one kill. Maybe not as much as you'd want from the combos of ROTM, but they'll drop Sheila in the mid lane. Poppy just sends it away so they don't lose the mid lane tower. They're keeping their objectives up, which is admirable, but now the dragon is something that they do have to contend with. Winged walks up and is going to force Bandakali and Wolf back off. Dragon should be getting pretty low now. Oh, in comes the Ashe onto the Poppy. Winged will eventually, I think, chew through the Poppy. They'll finish off the Dragon in the process. Winged, can he find the kill? He finally does. Has to use, well, it was the Moonfall for Manakali. Okay, that's 2 Moonfall whiffs back to back. That ability is just cursed. Don't pick that one up again.
That ability is just cursed. It really is, though.
Can ROTM pick up their first turret of the game? This is a big moment now for Return of the Middle Sticks. Extra attack speed, they finally get it, the mid lane tower, and they didn't lose one in the process, which I think is very important because Isha's still on the map. So you get your third dragon, you're on Infernal Soul Point, you didn't lose a tower, and you got one. Things looking up for Surprise Party. They're probably feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, that Rift Herald was a bit of a sussy baka, but at the same time, I did not know you could also Keeper's Verdict the Rift Herald like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was the animation first for Rift Herald, then you can go ahead and do it. But still, you learn something new every day, so it's nice to see that they're trying to defend these objectives.
I'm pretty sure you can even interrupt the animation still. It's just like a quarter second though, so it's really hard to interrupt.
Does it count as unstoppable though?
No, I don't think so.
Because I know it shoves it to the side.
Yeah, well.
But anyways, RotM trying to put...
Scrams is looking for Diana up in the top lane. Meanwhile, Densoft, I think, caught maybe
he has to burn
a
flash
little bit
here.
lacking there. But yeah, now in comes the flag and drag. Death Lotus is here. Bandit going in. Death Lotus has to try to flash away. One more auto. What is
Oh my goodness gracious! I
that,
was about to freak out there for a second.
that was a little closer than it needed to be. Oh, the smite
Oh
from Wolf
no,
finishes him
Wolf!
off for this shutdown. Scrams doesn't win this 1v1, surprisingly, but he'll call in his goons. Hostile takeover onto Dead Soft, and they'll throw Nautilus into the jacuzzi. They know he doesn't have any flash because they just forced it, and Wing picks him off. Meanwhile, Toe and Ish on the bottom lane. This is, unfortunately, I think the Toe Knuckles experience for a little bit now that Ish has finished up his Sunderer and Toe Knuckles does not have any bruiser items in kind.
Yeah, I was just about to say the auto cancels there from Death Lotus was kind of sus, but still they picked up the kill either way, and they want to continue this aggression. Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. I forgot his Ezreal's also goes off of AP scaling. True Shot Barrage definitely.
Oh, I thought it stopped on the minions if you hit it. All right, well, we're both learning things about Poppy ult.
Yep, I guess we are. But it's nice to see RotM doing this change of plans. They're trying to also show some aggression as much as possible. Kind of a book out of Classic Esports page out of Classic Esports book, I should say.
There's the Hull Breaker. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's on now.
Oh no. It's gonna be a lot more difficult now for Toe Knuckles. At this point, if I'm Toe Knuckles, I would just continue to build tank because there's no point where you're gonna be able to keep up in damage against the Trundle at this point.
I haven't built Hull Breaker in a minute. Is it still edgy as shit when you ping it? When you ping it, it says, "I'm hunting alone."
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. That's what I like to see in my video game.
It is gonna take Flydown a while to get online, though. I mean, he's kind of behind right now. Not too far off away from Death Lotus, but like, he is gonna need an additional item. He's definitely gonna need Shirley's Grudge right now to kind of keep up with a lot of all-ins that Wing Nation and Scrams and Toe Knuckles are doing at this moment. Hostile takeovers, by the way, coming out from Altera has been really good so far. A lot of team fights right now that are being changed because hostile takeover is being utilized to the maximum. There's a lot of value being used from it. One thing I would like to see is just RotM be careful with this lead. The gold lead is still the same. You don't really have that big of a lead. It's just the KDA that is misleading you at this point.
Wolf could have stopped Scrams. Probably should have stopped Scrams, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think Classic Esports at this moment, they understand that they're behind, but they probably feel like, hey, we can still be just as aggressive. We just got to be a lot more cleaner with these team fights. Or at least with their individual targets, because they're targeting way too many multiple people at the same time.
Yeah,
RotM
RTM really wants this Infernal Soul here in 20 seconds, but Classic already set up for it. Look like they're going to opt in at least for a 4v4, and now they're going to spot Ish on the bottom, or on the top side, excuse me. So, have to be... I'm a little interested in how Classic plays this. I'm also interested in what RTM wants to do, because we've seen them really not prioritize these dragons, and yeah, this is the same play. History doesn't
smart decision.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So here we go. We're just gonna burst open some mid lane towers. Do they get mid lane and the hip?
Yes, they do. This is a really smart choice right now.
All right, and they're out. And they didn't lose. Well, they lost the dragon,
Hey,
but like
you can end the game. It's 5v4.
I don't know that you can fight in their base, in their face right now.
You most definitely can. I mean, the only person. Oh wait, we might see you here.
Yeah, now they're looking for it. Hostile takeover coming on through. Oh, just not quite tagging everyone. Does find two. Now Toe Knuckles into the back line. They find Flay with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's a double kill for Death Lotus. They'll send away the front line, so our team has to regroup briefly, and it looks like the call is split for a second. They were debating Baron. It's going to be Baron.
Oh, no, but no, you end the game there. You just wait for the next wave to come through, and you can go ahead and 5v3. I get that a lot of summoners and ults are being used, but still, you could definitely win the game. I mean, Bear's not a bad call, though.
I think it's a little too early in the game. Wing picks up Keeper's Verdict just to stall away Wolf, make sure that he can't get in. There is no contest available unless there's a True Shot Barrage, which there isn't because he's dead for another 11 seconds, and RTM secures Baron. Yeah, I don't think they had enough time unless they really staggered him. This is, I think, the safer call for ROTM, as they'll grab the Baron and finally have a secured 100% certifiable gold lead.
Not for long. Very good pick up there. Really good choice by RotM to try to do a hard push on this mid lane. Obviously, like you said earlier, they're up 3 dragons. You can give one up. You can survive with one dragon being given away, and you just bait out the Baron side. It was really actually nice by Toe Knuckles to actually set that up. Before the dragon was spawning, and they caught vision of Toe Knuckles on the Baron side. He was clearing out a couple of wards, trinkets, and pink wards on their side to kind of clear out as much vision as possible away from classic esports. So really underrated decision making from RotM there to kind of push down the mid lane, suffocate them with the super minions, and just bait the Baron play.
Well, ROTM now grouped up, trying to make sure that Ish can't find an opening anywhere in this game. I really like the way they've managed their minion waves the last couple of minutes. They've had Toe Knuckles shoving one side away from the Trundle, which you have to do because he doesn't survive against the Trundle. This is a little risky here from Toe Knuckles. They're trying to get the pick onto the Shyvana. Banakali taken so low. The pull back in from Flay. Does Toe win this? Oh, he almost. If he was able just to focus on one and then the other, I think he actually wins that one. A couple of minions get sent away. They're looking for the pin onto Scrams. This fight might determine the game. Trundle is down, though. Shutdown goes to Winged. They'll finish off the Poppy as well. And now it's 4v3 on the map. The Ezreal ult just tickling on through. They have the Baron buff minions just pouring into the base right now. Nobody is responding to these supers right now. Densoft finally headed back, but Wing can walk up directly into the face of... Oh my god, he didn't need any abilities at all. Just hit the E and the auto.
That man had a family.
Had, past tense. R.I.P. Yeah, Banakali and Densoft, looking to try to stall out the ROTM onslaught. The hook from Densoft lands. Banakali can't really commit anything. He doesn't have Moonfall available. The Moonfall finally connects from Wing Nation.
Wing's just tanking turn shots.
All right, well, he doesn't care. He's got the heal from Kingslayer.
Oh my goodness.
All right, excuse me, Winged. 31-13 going to be the final kill count, and ROTM takes a 2-0.
Let's go, RotM win!
And we didn't have to stay up until 11 p.m. to do it. What a great night.
It's a win-win everywhere.
A 2-0 for Return to the Middle Sticks surprise party. They're going to improve to 2-1 and set up a 2-1 showdown with Cossacks and Friends tomorrow night. Also here on the channel. That starts at 7:15. I think I've got Lexus. That should be a banger. Yeah, any final thoughts, Atlas?
That was a great game. Match 2 for RotM. I am happy they won. I really wanted to see them pull out this win. I think this is going to be a start of a great week. Surprise Party winning today. They're going to win tomorrow. You got Darkwind winning on Friday, or Thursday, I should say. And Dre's going to pull it out at the end of the week.
All right.
I'm manifesting it right now.
We'll look forward to seeing it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to send you over to Metashift because that's the league we're playing in. I don't know what they're casting. I can't read their scoreboard on the channel preview, so go support Metashift. Say hi to the boys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night back here on the channel for Surprise Party versus Cossacks and Friends. There's a 10-second delay. All right. I'm hinting a little, but that's okay. Bye!